Hello, Miss Jennifer. How are you doing? And how are you, Eric? I love you.
I'm doing great. He says, I'm doing fantastic. I love you. Yeah, so we're doing good.
Maria was up in your room cleaning the mess that Easton made, and she felt goosebumps. I'm sure that was
Yes,
you in your room.
yes, yep.
Yeah, she liked that a lot. Sometimes she'll
Uh,
feel you rough up her hair.
yep, tingling, yep, the tingling in the hair, yep.
That's right. All right. So we are going to try to channel the coronavirus itself. I don't know if that's possible. Is it possible, Eric? Because
Um,
it's debatable whether a virus is a living being or not. Some
yeah,
some scientists say yes, some no.
yeah. So I personally am going to have Eric's help here,
Okay.
to get into the virus. Maybe some people could channel the virus
Hmm.
directly. I feel like I'm gonna do it kind of through Eric,
Okay, that's
if
fine.
that's
Oh
okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Of course. All right, here almost all these are from blog members, and there might have to be a part two. Oops. All right, is the whole conspiracy thing about, and I haven't read these really, sorry. Is the whole conspiracy thing about China developing this virus and holding on to a secret antidote, which they are using in order to literally take over the world, true?
Okay. So what Eric is telling me and what he has been telling me is that it's not a simple answer. He says an illness that went from animal to human, and then it you know kind of morphed, human to human very, very quickly. What he says is that what China did was not give the information as readily as they should have.
Yeah.
They kind of cloak and daggered this a bit, um, and that they do have, there are scientists and in laboratories now that have the ability to weaponize this, but that was
I
not.
bet you we probably do it here too. I don't know.
It's pretty much across the board. Any kind of,
Yeah.
you have to know. And it really, he says, it's not weaponizing it necessarily to use it against people, but what you need to do is weaponize it so that if somebody else uses it against you, you know how to treat it.
Yeah, or you can just like piece through strength, basically,
Yes,
also. So
yes.
so basically, you, Mr. Coronavirus or Mrs. Coronavirus, so you did you come from the wet market, and or did scientists have accidentally released from the lab, or both? Like the scientists were working on an affected bat, and
Yes,
re-
so it was not purposely done.
yeah,
This was not done to control the masses or to weed out people or anything like that. But yes, there is this whole animal to human and also it being in the lab thing. Okay, so
yeah,
it's
it's
both
both.
places, but it's not intentional. But the
Yeah.
whole cloak and dagger thing that they did after, not to notify the rest of the world what was going on,
Yeah, it's
they
all
got.
about PR, I guess. But that's what you
Yes,
said, Eric, on the e-board, which is kind of like an Eric Ouija board, said that
yeah.
it was not intentional. So what makes the coronavirus so much worse than the current influenza epidemic? I think 33 or 30,000, 37,000 people have died.
Yeah, it's because it specifically targets that respiratory,
Okay.
the respiratory, whereas the flus don't necessarily specifically target the respiratory. So
Yeah.
that's the problem. And he says the flus had the vaccines. There's stuff to do for the flu. This is new. This
Yeah.
is
And we
new
don't have
territory.
we don't have herd immunity left.
Yeah.
So why are we sheltering in place now and social distancing with you, and never have with influenza, SARS, H1N1, swine flu,
He-
Zika, Ebola, and others?
because this is just it's so highly contagious. Yes, the other
Yeah,
stuff is contagious, but this is so highly contagious and it spreads so quickly. And the problem, he says too, is that people don't know that they're sick when they're sick.
yeah. I
Well,
mean, you can be asymptomatic and be
yes,
spreading it to everybody. So
yes,
that is a problem.
yes, it is.
I mean, for
Yes,
like
where
eight
when you
days
have the
even.
flu, you have the flu,
Yeah. There's a prodromal phase where you don't have symptoms, where you can still spread it, but it's not like so long as with the coronavirus.
Yes,
Is the coronavirus a spirit energy?
no.
Okay. Can you tell us what we will learn from its effects once it's subsided, or actually now?
Okay, there's some things medically, you know, like Erik says medically people got a little too comfortable at being able to control stuff and the diseases. So he said this puts the medical community and the scientists on their toes a bit. Like we
Yeah.
need to kind of really stay on top of stuff and maybe necessarily don't look at animal viruses as not being a problem for humans. You know, so
Okay.
it'll do that, but it's also going to change society in general. Um, you'll see a lot less physical affection moving forward. Even
Hmm.
after this is done, a lot less handshaking. He says you're going to see people wearing masks. You know, in some countries that's pretty common. In the United
Yeah.
States, it's less common. But he says you're going to see people flying with masks. You'll see people just out and about with masks. This will be a pretty common thing. So it does change. It does change us on the medical aspect of things and on the social. It does.
So will it be more like in the business world? Will there be less business travel and more video conferencing as far as meetings is concerned?
Yes, it's a possibility because what this is going to do is show people, hey, you don't actually need to spend all this money doing this when this works just as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about online schools? I mean, will
Yep.
schools be more in the public schools, or will
Yeah,
private, or
in the public school, you'll see it more in the on the high school level.
okay.
You may see people homeschooling a bit more,
Okay.
um, but high school you'll start to see more distance learning, as they're calling it now.
Okay. What is the spiritual contract for the collective for this?
So one of the big things for this, and I actually, Erik is saying we talked about this in the last Corona video that we did, is that what this does for the collective people who are here is it actually makes it so that we have some common ground. Okay.
Yeah.
it,
This is
there,
the only thing that has affected
it,
every human on earth. Yes.
yes. So it creates common ground no matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter what country you're from. There's this common ground, and what he says is during this, which I find this actually to be very interesting, when we're going through crises in our lives and our individual lives, the the spirit vibration raises around us because we've got spirit guides, maybe extra spirit guide energy or a
Oh, good.
specific spirit guide that's come in to help us. So basically, even though we might not notice it, the entire globe right now, every individual person has like more spirit guide energy, more high vibration from the other side. So he's saying we're working really hard over here because of what is going on there to kind of help keep you guys going through this.
Wow,
Um,
that's so sweet.
yeah, so there's a side effect of actually a raised vibration that we're probably not noticing because,
Yeah.
or a lot of us aren't noticing because, we're kind of in fight or flight mode right now.
Yeah. But be wary of your thoughts, people. Try
Yes.
not to try not to have thoughts of fear. Try to have them of hope, and to know that there will be good that comes out of it. So is it also part of the contract for us to become more self-reliant, like make our own, grow stuff in the gardens, be more sustainable? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's a side effect of it, he says. Erik says it's kind of a side effect of it, yes.
Okay, but not really pinned in the contract, so to
Not
speak.
necessarily, but yes, becoming less wasteful.
Yeah.
What can you really do without? What can you really go without? That kind of stuff. It's a good lesson for us, but it's sort of a side effect.
Yeah, I mean, my whole lifestyle is pretty much shelter in place anyway. But now with the market going down, it's like we're tightening our
Yeah,
belts, and we're realizing that we don't
yeah,
need anything. We need so much less than we think. We really
yes,
do. And also, it seems like even though we're social distancing and not showing affection physically, it seems like there's more of a connection between us and
yes,
communities, etc. Everybody pitching in to help each other, sewing masks for the masks for the healthcare providers, things like that.
Yes, it's because during times of crisis, people do come together. So there is definitely that going on. Um, it's just kind of softening everybody. He says it's going to soften everybody's hearts if they let it.
Yeah. So, that kind of happened after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
People helped and pitched in, and Rosie the Riveter, et cetera, and no more nylon stockings and stuff. And also after 9/11, I mean, people
Yes.
banded together, but that didn't last
Yeah,
so long.
he says this has the potential to last longer.
How? Why?
Again, because it's a global thing. These other
Uh,
things were not
uh,
necessarily global.
yeah.
They didn't affect everybody on the planet. This really does affect everybody. And he says also one of the things that will come out of this on an individual level is people just being more appreciative of what they do have.
Yeah. That's good. Well, and maybe every little, outbreak of the flu that comes around, maybe it'll also remind people of what we
Yeah,
went through. Will there
yeah.
be another wave like October, January? Second wave
Um,
like they're worried about in China?
it is possible, but it's possible, but a second wave won't be nearly as catastrophic as
Oh,
this one is
yeah.
because he says you are going to build up immunity to it.
Yeah.
There is going to be immunity. So yes, there will be. It's kind of one of those things he says like it might cycle through,
Yeah. Okay.
like the flu does and stuff.
Okay.
But it won't be. This is the big one, really.
Yeah, I know. So, if we do have a second wave, what month is that most likely to happen in?
He says in the winter months.
Okay.
Same kind of like with the flu season. So what is that, like October, November?
Yeah, November through February,
Yeah.
maybe March.
Yep.
On the e-board, I got January or October, January. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Will it be seasonal like the flu, like rear its ugly head? Go back to the like a bird population,
Yeah,
whatever.
what Erik is saying is it's going to kind of at the end of it after the end of this whole thing it's going to be kind of more like the cold.
Oh,
So
okay.
where it's kind of like you can sort of get it anytime, but maybe there's more cases of it in the colder months, the winter months.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is from somebody. Is it true that the media is trying to distract the public with COVID-19? Well, they didn't cause it, to cover up the global mass arrests of elitist pedophiles from presidents, the Vatican, high-ranking officials, to people in the entertainment industry?
So it's what Erik is saying is it's not necessarily that they're doing it to distract us. However, there is other stuff going on in the world right now that we are the COVID-19 is distracting us from.
Yeah, I
But
don't think the
it's
media
not
has any purposeful intention of,
correct.
yeah,
Yep,
okay.
correct.
Is JFK Jr. alive and behind QAnon, and bringing down the cabal with COVID-19 being the perfect decoy to distract mainstream media?
No.
Okay.
Erik kind of looks at me like no.
Okay. Um, okay, we talked about some of the most life-changing permanent changes we will see in the next year from this experience. The online video conferencing, more self-reliant, more
Yeah,
connected, all the
you're gonna
social
see
distancing
hand
more. Okay.
sanitizers everywhere. This is gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot more of that kind of stuff, you
Okay.
know.
What souls are at the epicenter of spiritual awakening via coronavirus? And who are the catalyst players? Trump, JFK Jr., etc. I don't quite
I don't really
understand.
understand that question.
Okay,
Um,
we'll skip it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really know. To the coronavirus, what can we do to eradicate you?
Stay inside.
Okay,
Stop spreading it.
what components of viruses are you created with? Capsid. I think you
So
have I don't know.
so that's information that I have no knowledge of.
Yeah,
So
no,
it
I
would be
don't.
very hard for Erik to give me any information about that.
Yeah. I think it has more spikes than the native one, as we said before, and
Okay.
2 coats in the capsid, and then the RNA inside. But what else can we do to eradicate you? Well, what about the malaria and the plaquenil and azithromycin combination?
Yes. So they are having some luck with that, apparently. There's all kinds of, all kinds of stuff you can do. Washing, the
Yeah,
detergent kills it so easily. If it's on surfaces, it dies very easily.
yeah,
Dies. Um,
yeah,
not touching your face, all of the things that we know that we need to do. But really, until it runs its natural course and we start
yeah,
to build up some antibodies, we're not eradicating it.
yeah,
We're
no.
not getting rid of it.
I don't think it's ever going to be totally eradicated, like
No,
smallpox, right?
no,
Not,
no. Eric says no.
okay. Well, is it heat resistant, or is it will heat kill it like summer
So,
months, or
yes.
weaken it, making it less virulent? I don't know.
Right. So, like on surfaces and stuff, the heat, the very high heat, is going to weaken it or kill it or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Eric made about viruses being, are they dead or alive or
Yeah.
whatever. He made a joke about they're like sea monkeys.
Oh yeah, sea monkeys.
So like sea monkeys,
They're so cute. Yeah.
they used to come like dehydrated, right?
Yes. How could that
Um,
happen?
and so then you have to like a virus isn't really dead or alive.
Yeah.
So it needs something. It needs something to,
He's a host.
yeah, it needs a host. But if it doesn't have the host, it's not really alive.
Okay. It only lives through the host.
Yes.
Okay. Is your purpose to bring everyone's attention on how insanely materialistic, disrespectful, and disconnected we've all become? Is that one part of the contract?
It is. It's more the materialistic. It's more there will be a light shined on how little we really need to survive.
And a light shine on how often we touch our faces. I'm realizing that.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
God. Was this an attack for a certain human species relation to birds to change their DNA?
No.
Okay. Was it released in the time of planetary ascension to try to prevent Earth's or our or ascension by keeping the vibration lower?
No, because this is actually ultimately raising the vibration.
Okay. Well, it is. I mean, not only the spirit guys and
Yeah.
probably archangels and stuff, but also us, having that commonality, that common ground, this is a community that wanting to volunteer and help.
Yes.
I put an application in for the American Red Cross and they haven't gotten back to me. I guess they're not that desperate.
Well, and also what Eric says is that when you're just going about your day-to-day life, you're not really necessarily being hopeful in your
Yeah.
life. You're just sort of going through the motions.
Yeah.
Whereas this has created a lot more need for hopefulness, which is a higher vibration emotion.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And just being concerned about our loved ones. This reminds us how much we love other people in our lives. Is the virus from a past life to come back to pick up ones it had taken before?
No.
I don't know. Okay. Is this a planned, are these, for many people who succumb to the virus, planned exit points?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Well, anytime there's mass deaths from something, it does create a kind of global awareness.
Okay, yeah.
A global kind of empathy, compassion. So anytime in the history when you look back on mass deaths,
Okay.
it's horrible, but there's always good that comes out of it.
Okay. Will the vaccine be effective?
Yes.
And will there be any dangers with it? Like some people say people are going to load it up with viruses or maybe a microchip.
No, it's not dangerous in that way. But there's always some danger to vaccines for some people.
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
Guillain-Barré from the flu shot. I
Yes.
don't know. It's not very common though, but
Correct. Same here.
how many overall deaths will there be in the U.S. and also in the world as a whole? I mean, just how many figures, I guess.
There's yes, we're six figures, hundreds of thousands.
For the U.S.
Well, no, global.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Like the
Um,
high six, mid six, low six.
what I'm seeing is somewhere in the mid.
Okay. What about in the U.S.? Low, high, mid.
Low.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I thought so. Okay. Let's see. My question for the coronavirus is: how long will these travel restrictions between Europe and the U.S. last? And also, how long will the stay-at-home, shelter-in-place last for the states who have enacted it?
So timeline stuff is always tricky because if people don't do what they're supposed to be doing, it extends this.
Yeah.
But Erik says there's a potential by June, July, we're kind of back to a resemblance of what normal travel used to look like.
Okay. When will the economy start to recover and people get their jobs back?
Yeah.
And
Once we start travel and this kind of stuff, June, July, and the economy does recover. He's quite adamant that it does recover. And I don't know if I'll be able to tell you what there's going to be, but there's going to be other parts of the economy that end up stimulated because of this.
oh, really? Okay.
Okay. So maybe that's medical.
Healthcare, yeah.
Yes,
I
medical stuff,
can
medical
imagine,
supply
yeah.
stuff. So
And also meal kit deliveries and like
mm,
HelloFresh and stuff. Maybe I don't know.
yeah, I gotta say again, we
Zoom
discussed that last
video
time.
conferencing, yeah.
We discussed the meal deliveries last time, and the problem with the meal delivery stuff is once this all gets back to normal, those drop again.
Exactly, because they were not doing well before this.
Yes. So that I remember I kept saying something about that, something about that. Well, they've hit a peak. So if you're investing now, there's not
Better
much
short it.
more. Yes.
What connection do you have, if any, to the deep state, Illuminati, global elite, New World Order, and population control? I guess I don't.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No
Are you
connection.
engineered as a bioweapon, therefore different from the native form? We already established that,
No.
at least, well, I mean, there's the native and there's a bioengineered one, right?
Yes. Yes.
And they engineered it just because peace through strength kind of thing, right? Not purposeful trying to,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, it has to be once something like this happens, they have to engineer it so they know how to combat it. They have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you, COVID-19, part of the revelation from the Bible? I don't know anything about the Bible, sorry.
I don't either.
But are you part of the revelation?
So the way Erik is putting it is you could make this fit into certain aspects of the Bible, which I don't
Okay.
know my Bible, but yes, I guess plague, like this.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
it kind of fits into that. So it's not specifically spoken about in the Bible, like specifically to the COVID.
Okay, no, of course
but
not.
it's,
Yeah. It's the pestilence.
yeah.
Okay, so I know that Rennie and I, every time something goes wrong in our life, there's so many horrible things have happened to us. We go, what's next, locusts?
Yes.
If true, I think it's the same person. Who is the Antichrist?
So what Erik is saying is that the Antichrist is not necessarily a being like you might think.
Okay.
It's more like the darkness.
Yeah, maybe it's our own dark energy.
Yeah.
I mean, the darkness in all of us.
Yes, it's like that, like the
Or
darkness,
others, yeah.
fear, the
Yeah.
that sort of thing is what brings us down to that lower level.
Or the deep state, the global elite, the cabal, the Illuminati, are they part of that darkness, that dark energy?
Yes, they can be, but not necessarily. Not necessarily individual by individual, but the groups like this, the secret groups, the especially if they have nefarious plans. Yes, it can be, but again, not like a specific antichrist, like you
Yes.
think of like
Okay.
Jesus is an actual being, you know?
Okay. Will the airlines cease to exist?
No.
Okay. Erik said repeatedly that the world would be changing soon. Is this the beginning of the change?
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yes.
said in one of the prediction things that March and April of 2020, there would be a mass conscious awakening.
Mhm.
So this must be it, right?
Yeah, it's the start of it. This is a long process, he
God,
says,
yeah. Yeah.
but this is definitely a piece of that puzzle.
That's so cool. Um, War, famine, and pestilence are part of the revelation. Must be the same person. President Trump describes COVID-19 as the invisible enemy, and we are at war with it. 151 countries are at war with it. So it's safe to say that this is a world war. Pestilence is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as a fatal epidemic disease. COVID-19 is definitely a fatal disease, as over 3,500, blah, blah, as of 3:30. Um, Famine is the question. So I guess when will the famine occur? Because, the farmers are really suffering because 10% of the dairy goes to our schools, and the restaurants are all, most of them are closed down, and things like that. So will there be
Yes.
a problem with famine?
So,
I don't know what that had to do with the epidemic disease they're talking about. Then they jump right to famine.
yeah, I'm not really sure either, but I'll answer that question because Erik is saying, there already are places where there's famine anyways. So if we're talking specifically in the United States right now, this is one of those things where it's like scarcity is sometimes an illusion.
Yeah,
There will be enough food.
it's just awful that they're dumping milk, because I mean, surely they
Yeah.
could distribute it, find a way to distribute it to
Yes,
other
and
countries who are starving and stuff.
yes, and there will be stuff like that worked on. The problem is that there's still too much rigidness in the, like, what do you call that with the ports when the stuff
Oh
comes
yeah,
in?
the USDA and
Yes.
yeah,
Uh,
government. Yeah,
yeah, but seizing stuff on other ends, not just ours.
yeah.
Customs.
Oh
There
yeah,
needs to be some. There needs to be some kind of leniency in the custom stuff so we can move things through quicker.
yeah.
Um, so hopefully,
Hopefully they'll do
eventually,
that. I'm sure
yeah.
they will. All right, Walmart plays as one of an important part, as they will stay open through this hard time to feed the people. It's been a madhouse of people, especially when our pallets of toilet paper and paper towels are brought out to the floor. She or he must work there. My
Yeah.
question is, how many Walmart associates will get sick from the transmission of COVID-19, and how many will die? Oh my
Yeah, that's
goodness.
just too hard to answer because there
Yeah.
is free will involved there. If they can wear masks, if they can, it's just too hard to
Wash
answer.
their hands more,
Too
all
much
that.
free
Yeah.
will involved. Yes.
Yeah. Why did Pelosi add non-COVID relief things to the bill, like the 500,000 for a waterworks project in Utah, money for some art center and the Kennedy Center, and carbon neutral airlines by such time. Why did
Now,
she do that?
now understand, I'm going to preface this, me, Jennifer, I am not a political person. Okay.
Almost no medium is.
So
So
this
don't shoot the messenger, okay?
I have no preference here, but Erik said because she was trying to be slick. And then he was like folding something up in a napkin and like, here, I'm going to pass you this napkin. Here's this napkin. And then inside the napkin is all this other stuff that you didn't know was that you were
Yeah.
accepting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
bet they did it on the other side too. I
of
mean,
course.
they could have put all sorts of stuff,
Yes.
um, but I don't think that was right on either
No,
side.
no, for
Taking
either side.
advantage of a crisis.
Yes. Taking advantage. That's exactly what Erik was saying. It was taking advantage.
It should have been only relief,
Yes.
medical and financial, etc. But
He said, that's not how they're wired to think. They're opportunists.
oh God.
Both sides, I'm not picking favorites, they're opportunists, and that is how they're wired to think.
I would say they should be line item veto, where Trump goes, nope, we're not going to do that. Give money to that. Nope, we're not going to do the Green Deal here. This is pure package. But then it gives too much power to every
Yeah.
president on
Yep.
both sides. So please ask the coronavirus collective about stopping it. Does quercetin and epigallocatechin, epigallocatechin, gallate with zinc, vitamin C, and D work?
It will for some, yes.
How do you know if it'll work for you?
Well, I mean, you can just take it anyways, and
Okay.
um,
Do you know exactly when you made the jump to humans? And yeah.
well, yeah, 2019, somewhere towards the end of 2019.
Okay. Wow. Um, when you go dormant, like the SARS and stuff, they go hide out in the bird population. Where will you hang out?
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that there still is going to be corona amongst the animals,
Okay. Like
whichever animals
bats?
have it. Yeah, I guess the
Yeah.
bat. So it'll still exist within the animal population, but this will remain within the human
Yeah.
population. So it's not
Okay.
necessarily going to jump back to an animal and then come back, although there will be risk of animal contamination again.
Yeah. Well, then maybe are you going to be just endemic? Like leprosy is endemic in armadillos. So are you endemic in like bats and other animals?
Yeah, it feels like it's going to kind of stay within them, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
But
but the
did they
one
get
that we
sick from
have
it?
is different.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a yeah. Okay, yeah. That the one in bats, it's endemic in bats and other animals, maybe I don't know, is the native coronavirus, and the one that's affecting us is the
Yes, because when it
engineered.
made the jump from animal to human, it changed very quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you mutating very quickly?
so what he said is, what Eric's saying is it slowed down. It has, the mutation happened quickly in the beginning, but the mutation has slowed down.
Okay, good.
Um,
When you
yeah,
do
with
mutate, do you become more aggressive, less aggressive, attack different subsets of the population? You know.
it feels like the mutation actually creates less aggressiveness, is how he's putting it, and it has to also to do with our immunity to it, our resistance
Okay.
to it.
Good. 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 Well, we have to make a new vaccine every time, like with influenza, a mix of H1, H2, H3, N1, all that kind of stuff every year.
It does feel, yes, like it's good, like the scientists are going to have to stay on top of the,
Okay.
but what Eric's saying is once we get kind of the general idea of the vaccine, I guess maybe that's how it is with the flu too, where it's like tweaked and changed.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to feel kind of like that.
And we have herd immunity for the most part against influenza. We will develop herd immunity
Yes.
eventually with this, I guess. All right. Is this not really a virus, but actually 5G radiation poisoning from the towers they are installing all over the world, starting with Wuhan? Oh,
No, this is a
radiation.
virus.
Okay, radiation poisoning causes flu-like symptoms. Okay, cells get deprived of oxygen, so the virus is really similar. Well, I mean, is it making us more vulnerable?
No, not necessarily. No, this is the vulnerability becomes comes from where we don't have any immunity
Oh,
to it.
exactly. This person also says that the Spanish flu, it was like the electricity waves poisoning us when the world started installing electrical lines during the time. But that doesn't make us more susceptible or make the virus more virulent or us
No,
weaker against it.
Eric
Okay.
says these two things are not necessarily connected, not for the masses, anyways.
Okay.
Maybe there's a handful that are more susceptible because, but Eric even says even with the 5G, there'd be an underlying issue anyways. There'd be an underlying immune system issue
Okay.
anyways.
All right. Once they enforce the so-called vaccine for this virus, will they impose martial law in which they will force people to get vaccinated, but actually will be implanting with microchips ordered by the Illuminati?
So that depends country to country. In the United States, they will not martial law it.
So they will not allow, they will not force us to get a vaccine, right? Will they? But they do with some things unless you have a waiver for religious reasons. Like,
yes, and there still will be people who will not be forced to get it. Now, military and that, government employees and stuff probably will be forced
well, what
to
countries do you see that could do it the other way?
insist on it.
Yeah.
China.
Okay. All right. That's fine. We don't want
Yeah.
to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. What lessons are you here to teach humanity? We covered that pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And are you here to help heal the earth? I guess by raising the vibration in a way.
Yeah. Well, and also, there's been a lot of healing with the earth just because we're not polluting it so much right now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is one of the other benefits of this is, like I'm sure a lot of people have seen in Italy, the canals have cleared out.
Yeah.
They're
I
clear.
know. That's so nice.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So there is some healing of earth going on here. Yes.
But that's because, the gondolas are not like stirring up the silt from the bottom,
But
and
even
probably
the
pollution
emissions from
too.
cars and stuff, there's a
Yeah.
lot less of it, and planes, and
Awesome.
so yes, this is not necessarily, Eric says, not necessarily done to do this, although it is one of the big benefits.
That's good. Um, does inhaling 3% hydrogen peroxide, as this guy, Dr. Hahn, suggests work, like 6 puffs while you inhale several times a day?
So what Eric is saying is people have to be very careful with the hydrogen peroxide, whatever the treatment is for it, because it is potentially dangerous.
Really? 3% hydrogen peroxide? What?
So if you don't know how much you're doing, if you do too much or if you ingest it, like if
Yeah.
people are just taking spoonfuls of it,
Oh, no, no.
yes, but well, Eric says people,
I know. But if you look up on YouTube, Dr. Hahn,Haan, what he does is just for prevention. He hadn't had a cold or anything for like decades. You just get an atomizer, fine mist, little spray. You can get it on Amazon, and then just 3% regular old household,
yep,
get in, and then just inhale, with 6 sprays. If you can't hold your breath, first you empty your lungs, and then you inhale 6. But if you can't do it in one breath, you can do it in more than one breath. And then if you have an illness, instead of just once a day, you do it like 4 or 5 times a day.
yes. So it is effective, but it is also something that people need to know what they're doing and whether they have any kind of contraindications or any kind of reason they shouldn't do it. Because somebody might say, oh, well, I don't have the inhaler thing, but I'll just,
Oh, no.
I'll just swallow some.
It's like the guy who did the fish tank cleaner, thinking that was the same as hydroxychloroquine when it's not.
Yes.
And also rinse out your mouth afterwards because it can make your tongue turn temporarily black. So,
yeah.
All right, coronavirus, what do you want us to know about you? And how long do you intend to inhabit human beings on this planet?
Well, off and on for years, but none of it will be as bad as this first round.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, none of it will be as bad as this first round. As far as what the coronavirus wants us to know,
I'm your bitch.
Yeah, yes. No, that everyday precautions, minor precautions can be very helpful. Don't take anything for granted. Don't take your health for granted. Don't, pay attention to what's going around, illness, germs, disease, how you're treating the planet. There's a lot to learn from this.
Yeah.
But as far as the virus really wanting us to know anything specific, there's nothing specific the virus wants us to know.
Should all the states be have that order in place,
Yes.
shelter in place? Why aren't they doing it? Economic reasons, probably, right?
There is some economic reasons, but there's also some of the people in charge do truly believe there's going to be a way to slow it down and stop it before we have to kind of do this. So it's kind of like wishful thinking.
Yeah, playing chicken with the virus.
Yeah.
All right. what are we not doing as far as our administration, our government, CDC, all that, that we should be doing now?
So what Erik is saying is that really the stuff that we're not doing, that we should be doing, is tough because of supplies. Really, if you're out in public, you should have a mask on, no
Okay.
matter where you are, no matter if you have a stay-at-home order or not. If
Even
you're
a
out in
bandana. You can fashion a bandana,
yes,
guys.
yes, you can. So that should be made mandatory. If you're out in public, whether you're an essential worker or not, you should have a mask.
Well, it's hard for America to
Yes,
mandate things. That's a problem because we came from other countries seeking risk and adventure, and so we
freedom
have
and
ADHD, and
yes,
so it's like nobody messes with me.
yes.
That's how New Yorkers are too, and Texans, and all these people who say, you
Yeah,
can't
this like
tell
this
me what to do.
stubbornness, this like no,
Yes,
like
yeah,
we're too strong. You're not gonna. Yes, America in general does have that kind of, this is America. Like that can't happen here. Like we're
yeah,
not
and
gonna
then
do
maybe that's
that.
a lesson that
Yeah.
everybody's vulnerable. We're in the
Yes.
same boat as every citizen in
Yes.
every country, every creed, every religion, every race, every gender, sexual orientation,
Yep.
whatever.
And
So
and and
that's a lesson.
vanity. Erik says vanity is a big one here. Why Americans won't tie a bandana around their face and go out in public. We're embarrassed as Americans to
Yeah,
do that kind of stuff. Whereas
yeah,
like in China, they wear masks.
they do. I mean, oh yeah, exactly. All the
So
Asian countries, I guess, because of the SARS, really, that
yeah,
started them on
he
that. Yeah.
said get over the vanity. If you're going out in public, tie a bandana if you can't have a mask.
Yeah,
That's how
not
you
just to
should be going out.
protect you, but also protect others too, potentially.
Yep.
Are you here to limit the population because the earth seems to be overpopulated?
No, it's and by the end of this, yes, there will be a lot of people who've lost their lives, but not enough to, make a huge dent
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
overpopulation.
right. And we're eternal beings. They'll come back.
Yes.
Uh, it's still tragic. Um, what did we in America do wrong? I mean, now, okay, we know that we should be doing something, but that's restricted by supplies. What did we do? I mean, I think it was good. We sealed off the border from China, but then the CDC, the tests were all just defected the first big batch. So that was really a problem.
Yeah.
What other errors did we make that we could learn from, and so that we
It,
don't do it with the next pandemic?
yeah, it's so how Erik puts it is that it wasn't really errors. Nobody was really prepared for what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, that does kind of go back to some misinformation that was released initially.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So really the other countries, Italy, they weren't really prepared for what was going on. So Erik says for the most part, the governments did the best they could with the information they had for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, but possibly in the future having backstock of, some of this medical supply stuff and
Yeah.
having, that sort of stuff on hand in case something like this happens, because when something like this happens, there's not enough time to get what we need.
I know. Italians are very affectionate too. That's part of the problem,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of hugging and stuff. That's will there be a different pandemic, different virus that is as bad as this in the next, I'm going to say 50 years, maybe?
Mm, So, yeah, I mean, not necessarily as bad as this. Erik says that we will see other viruses, other new viruses over the next 50 years. We will learn a lot from this one about how to handle others.
Good.
So like as far as the medications and the treatments, and again, this falls into an area that I don't quite understand, but approving stuff more quickly,
Oh, yeah.
getting stuff approved more quickly in
Cut
the
the red
future.
tape, man. It's
Yes.
emergency.
So
Yeah.
we will learn that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely be better prepared as a
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
when something else comes.
Your regulations. So, Trump looks really tired. And Erik, you said in a session I just had with Veronica, I mean, well, she felt something going on in his chest, like a tightness. Is something going on? Like, is he got something wrong with his heart, his lungs, or is he just sad? Maybe.
What Erik is telling me, okay, is that this is so tremendously stressful.
Yeah.
He's not sleeping, but neither are a lot of the leaders.
Yeah.
Because up in the middle of the night with call, like there's all kinds of stuff happening. There's a lot of anxiety, which he would never admit.
Oh.
But there is a lot of anxiety. Every leader, state, country, city, every leader is being scrutinized.
Yeah. Well, especially when somebody, I think it was Pelosi, said he's responsible for all these deaths, Oh,
I mean,
dang.
and that's just not, no
Oh,
one person is responsible for any of these deaths.
oh. And yet she held back the relief package because she wanted her pork in there. So that's not really cool at all. And then
No.
nobody of the press has ever asked him, how are you feeling? How are you handling this emotionally?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
It is.
Everybody across the globe is
All the
feeling emotional
governors,
stress.
all the, yes, it's all hard. Oh, God. What type of characteristics or personality, I'm almost finished, traits will attract you to certain beings? And what will they learn from acquainting themselves with you? I don't know. Is that maybe you're attracted to people that are more negative or hostile or angry? I don't know.
No.
Or no?
It's an equal opportunity virus.
Oh, God. Okay.
Is what Erik said.
What type of frequency and mindset must we be in to avoid contact with you?
So if you are somebody who has the free will not to get this, okay?
Yeah.
This is contracted for some people, no matter what they do, they're getting it. But if you have the free will not to get this, it really is not about your mindset as much as it is about doing and not doing the things that you're supposed to keep yourself from getting the virus.
Yeah. So
you're not
that's
going to positive think your way out of getting
no.
it if you're going out, and touching everything and touching your face. Not going to happen.
How do we protect ourselves from you? Well, will wearing masks and gloves be the new normal? We talked about that. For some it will be, but I'm sure.
Yeah, for some it will be, for sure.
Will bandanas and or cut your wife's bra and put it over there, guys.
There's also the one with the diapers. Have you seen that, where they cut the hole in the bottom of the diaper, put their head through the diaper, and then strap it around there?
Oh, that must be a big diaper, adult-sized diaper, probably. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. So, do those help? They're not N91 masks, but are they better than nothing? Like,
yes, they will filter out some of it, and if you're somebody who's out and about all day long dealing with people, maybe you'd rather have something a little bit more secure. But if you're running to the grocery store, that's definitely going to give you some layer of protection.
Okay.
As long as you don't get in your car and touch your face to pull the mask on, you keep the mask on until you get home. Wash your hands, remove the mask with the cloth, you throw it immediately into the laundry.
But then you wash your hands, and then you touch your mask, so you got to.
Well, then you got to wash your hands again.
Yeah, and clean off your stuff. I carry like some rags that have very dilute bleach, and I wipe down the grocery bags and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. I have a bottle of 70% alcohol.
Yeah, that's good.
I just spray the heck out of everything. I wipe my cell phone with it because that's safe.
Oh, yeah. Remote controls.
Yep.
Refrigerator handles, all that. We do that too. What is the new normal going to look like? We've already said pretty much. Will we essentially have to be inoculated with the COVID-19? And when do you, okay, we'll answer that. Yeah. Why are you affecting us not only physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially? And what are we supposed to learn from that? We kind of did that, but yeah. Why are you hitting us below the belt on all fronts?
Yeah, because of the rapid spread of this.
Yeah,
and the virulence of it, it's affected every aspect of our lives. It's kind of changed everything.
Yeah.
Humans are creatures of habit. Erik says so. So even when it is safe to come back out and be doing things, it's probably going to take about a year to find a new normal in social behavior.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to come off of this and be right out doing everything again. It's like, oh God, he's he's showing me like, well, I understand this because I love cats, but like when kittens first, they're born and they hide, they stay where they're at.
Oh
And
yeah.
then when it's
They
time for them
venture
to get
out.
going, but they only go a little ways. Like they're
Oh, they're
just
so cute.
very tentative. He said it's gonna, for a lot of humans, it'll be like that. It's not gonna be boom right back to everything we were doing.
Or for some, it'll be okay. It's over with. They
Oh
just
yeah,
totally stop the
for some
precautions
for
and everything.
sure, yes.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it's gonna take about a year to, because we'll have done this for so long that we'll have created
Yeah.
habits.
Yeah. So, what? Any final messages for the people on Earth, or any additional information, Erik, or coronavirus, that we need to know that I have not um, garnered through the questions asked?
Yes. So what he's saying is that this will pass, okay? It's like seems like it might be never ending, but it does pass. Um for a lot of people, just stay away from the news. A lot of people obsess over watching this, and it creates a lot of anxiety. So if you're somebody who is experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety over this, just don't pay attention to the news. You know what you need to do that, and don't focus on the death toll and the
Yeah.
increase.
I'm not
um
scared at all. I don't know why. I mean,
I'm
I
not
just feel
either.
eternal beings. I don't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be
It is.
fine.
It is. Yes, this is a crisis, and this is something that will kind of change things, but it does pass.
Okay,
So keep
so
your faith, keep your hope.
yeah, I see there's some Facebook things chant certain things to the coronavirus. Is there anything we could do as a collective to send healing energy, or energy to the virus, or energy to the victims, or is there anything we can do?
Yes, we can. Yes. So any kind of, yes, like that sort of thing, chanting or sending positive energy. These are all things that are helpful. They're not measurable.
No, no. But like
So
imagine send healing light going from shooting from your like
yeah,
roots from your feet to the core of the
yeah,
earth, and then coming up like lightning strikes into all the souls of the people in the world, the crust, the earth
yes,
itself, and birds
yep.
and bats.
Well,
All
and
right,
those
well,
kind of things for people raise their vibration anyways, because you feel like you're doing something. You
yeah,
feel like you're being productive. You feel like you're being positive. So it raises your individual vibration anyway. So why not do it? And
yeah,
imagine bleach molecules, just out
yeah.
into the air, killing it. And
Oh, I like that. So yeah, I mean, when we're in some scary situation, the best thing is to have some sort of control, like
yeah,
making masks uh, for the uh, first responders,
hmm,
anything. I don't have a sewing machine, and when I was a teenager, I used to scotch tape my hands. But anyway, so that
yes,
human skin, no problem. But all
yeah.
right, thank you so much, Erik and Jennifer. You guys check her
Thank
out. You can
you.
see how great she is at psychicmediumjenniferdoran.com, which I'll put right here. Anything else you want to say, Jennifer?
Just I love you. Thank you. And Erik says I love you.
I love you. Love y'all both. Love you guys out there. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, please, and share with your friends. Bye.
Bye.